Hello everyone. So this is another important video on the custom providers and in this video we are going to talk about asynchronous provider. अब क्वेश्चन आता है कि we already have the standard provider, class based, so many type of providers. Why do we need async provider at all? तो क्या होता है कि sometimes you want to start the application. But you need to wait until database connection has been acquired. Either MongoDB, MySQL, Postgres. जब तक database connection नहीं होगा आप HTTP request सर्व ही नहीं कर सकते. सर्व करोगे आपके पास application break होगा. So for that we need to use asynchronous provider. If you have used TypeORM is also provide this asynchronous way of loading dynamically. Why? Database connection will take time. So here we are doing, I'm providing injectable token async connection, but the value of that is coming using async await. That means it will take time. I'm just calling create connection and passing the options. Options might be coming from config service. So this async await, when you convert the factory provider with async await, that becomes async provider. And then once you receive it, using inject async connection, you can inject inside a service, controller, wherever you need a database connection. So let's try to understand this with example. That will give us more clarity. Here I created a module. Inside this module I have a app controller, and inside a provider here I will try to do the magic. So here provide is the injectable token, what is database URL database connection, and I'm going to use factory provider here. Factory custom provider, तो हम क्या करते हैं, use factory, right? Use factory async await, वही async await function है, because database connections will be acquired with async await, which will take some time. And here you can provide options, and these options can be coming from another provider. It can be config service, or it can be some value provider which you are going to define now. Or यहाँ पे you can call a method connection equal to await, they create connection. Create connection can be a simple method. अभी हम mock method create करते हैं, and then return connection. And what you are injecting here, you see we are using options, but where the options is coming from, तो उसके लिए हमें we have to inject that. So for the same thing we are going to inject it. So this is the provider, and inside this there is another argument is inject. Let's say if you want to inject config service or maybe an option provider. So DB options. So DB options is nothing but another value provider, injectable value provider. So DB options, and the value is, so this is the value provider. So first one is a factory provider. Second one is the value provider. So both the concepts we are using to create async provider. Okay. So DB options are getting injected here. Options object. अब इसके अंदर options object क्या है? If you just see this example, what is the options we are passing at line number 12? Nothing but an object with a URL, user, password. And you will create a create connection method, async await, maybe a simple function which will return a promise. And here you can actually do the create connection thing, because using DB option provider, I'm passing you the URL, password, database connection name, and all those sort of things, just for the demo purpose. New promise, resolve it after some set timeout. Okay, so this example is explaining how we create a sync provider in the Nestjs. So this create connection is just resolving the promise after 5 seconds. It is returning connected, and options, it is returning the options object. I mean, in the real world you will be connecting to the database here. So this is important snippet of the whole video. This is how you create async provider. Okay, we are just writing async await with the use factory. So same concepts we are going to use when we are going to write a custom module for database, custom module maybe for the Kafka. This use factory provider is going to be used on everywhere where you are going to create a custom library, dynamic module, lots of things. So this is really very important aspect. And now once you got a database connection, you will inject it inside a controller like this, inject injectable token, which is database connection, DB connection. And you will do this .db connection, and you will get the connection object.